Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Horror Room. I'm Travis Bruce, and today we're going to be doing another indie horror spotlight. Today, I have two guests, and they're here to promote their new movie. That's called "Please Don't Make Me Part 2," which is actually having its red carpet premiere December 14th. So that's right around the corner. First of all, I have Kanan White. He is the director, writer, as well as he's the killer in this movie. Kanan, welcome to the Horror Room, my friend.
Thank you so much. I also go by they, them pronouns, just so we know.
They, them. Okay, perfect. And also with us, I have the final girl. I have Tien Zaola. Tien, welcome to the Horror Room.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having us.
It's an absolute pleasure. Thank you for coming. So tell my guests a little bit about Please Don't Make Me Too.
Well, yeah, so Please Don't Make Me Too is obviously a continuation of our first film. Our first film was very run-of-the-mill slasher. I have the poster on my wall. Slasher, group of kids getting picked off one by one. In this second part, we're expanding a little bit on the lore and the story of the character, the monster Vivica. We're expanding on, the background, what made the monster. We're meeting a new cast of characters. My character, Riley, from the first film, obviously I survived because I'm in the sequel. I am putting together a little group to try to figure out why we're being targeted by this entity, and we're learning little puzzle pieces along the way and trying to survive again.
Now, is it hard making a sequel? So after you finished the first one, was a sequel already in mind, or was it like an afterthought? You're like, you know what? I had such a good reception. Let's go ahead and put together a second one.
It was probably a little bit of both, honestly. Filmmaking is something that I've always wanted to be a part of. It's just because of my following with drag, and I've been doing drag for about 6 years. So. And it incorporates acting, somewhat. So I kind of fell into it a little bit, but it's definitely something that I've wanted to do for a very, very long time. And I just figured making the first film, we have to make characters a little bit interesting, the ones that survived, just in case we wanted to do a sequel, which thank God, we didn't have pretty much any budget for the first film. Probably like what?
Maybe
$200
$200
for the first film. Maybe it was so little. It was really just like me and friends. Like it was like me reaching out to friends saying, "You want to do this?" Because I had a script and I said it'll be fun. We met up a few times, and got it filmed, and then it got. We're nearly at 12K views on YouTube, and with a film that had no budget virtually. I couldn't ask for more. But hopefully we get more with this sequel, because it's just huge.
And to go, the first film, we ended it on kind of an open note. You don't really exactly know what happened. You get an idea of what might have happened, but it leaves the audience up to speculate on their own. So the second movie, that was good for us because we can continue off of that for the sequel and kind of reveal what happened in that final scene that's so ambiguous.
Amazing. Now, we have the killer and the final girl with us. So, Kanan, I'm going to ask you a question first. And so to get yourself in a mindset of a killer, I'm sure you're friends with everyone of the cast. Did you have to kind of separate yourself a little bit, or to get yourself in a mindset that to get into that killer maintain, or was it something natural you just jump into when you're ready?
It's difficult. It's difficult to answer because I perform numerous times a weekend. I work pretty regularly in drag, and the killer I play in the film is the same drag character that I play on the weekends pretty regularly. And doing it so regularly, I work pretty closely with live interaction. So I've over the years of doing it, I've kind of learned what makes people tick a little bit. And I like to play with my audience a little bit. So my drag is very character driven, and it always has been. it's just over the years, it just keeps morphing into something more and more evil.
Nice.
So,
nice.
but working with friends though was hard. You know, doing the intense, you know, murderous scenes. You know,
it's pretty intense. As I can say, it's pretty intense. Okay, now I'm gonna shoot over to Zola.
Yeah.
It's the second time being a final girl.
Yes.
You have your killer sitting right next to you. You know, your friends.
I'm sweating a little bit.
Yeah, no. Is it now, how do you get yourself in the mindset to get fearful of a friend of yours, someone that you know and you see, you know, on a regular basis? How do you get yourself in that mindset as an actress to be batshit fucking terrified of him?
Yeah, it's a little difficult, but you really have to separate yourself, or at least I do, separate myself from myself and the circumstances that I'm in, and try to imagine it as real as much as I can. And just, you know, I don't have a large acting background. I did a lot of acting classes in high school just because I was interested in the backstage works of theater, and that was the only way I could be around it. So I do have some acting knowledge from classes and such. So I try to implement what I've learned there, and putting myself in the mindset of the character and trying to separate them from myself. To, you know, I'm not Tien sitting in a bar hanging out with a friend. I'm Riley hiding in a bar from a murderer who has killed all my friends in the first movie and is coming after me again and my new friends that I've made.
That's amazing, because I mean, I'm just thinking to myself, I've never acted before, but like if it was someone new and they came out, I think I'll start laughing or something.
Yeah,
I know
we definitely have a lot of moments like that where we have to get back into character because we flub something up and break.
We try to leave a little bit of leeway for that because, like, I never want my sets to be like excruciatingly painful. You know what I mean? Like, to be at, I want it to be a fun space. I want it to be a safe space for everybody. Even though it's like the subject matter is like violence, and you know, I like to use real weapons and things like that. But it's very, very important to me that everybody, you know, works together well, and everybody the energy is up the whole time. It's very, very important to me because I never want bad morale around my sets.
And that's excellent. Now, Kenan, this is a horror film. You're doing it bigger and better. Well, hopefully better than the first time around.
We'll let you be the judge of that.
Yes. Now, are you afraid to fall into that horror jinx where the second one is never as good as the first one?
I'm not really scared by that, honestly. Okay. The things that I've been thinking about throughout this whole process of making the sequel is Child's Play 2, Addams Family Values, like all of these things that, like, I mean, maybe some of it is a little bit subjective, but I think when you have a super simplistic concept in the first film, but you've kind of learned what works, what doesn't work, you get to take that and you get to run with it. You know what I mean? You get to really hone in on that luscious concept and not let it go. And this is just the beginning. And our third film will be a breakaway from the Please Don't Make Me events. So super, super excited about that too. Still horror though.
Amazing. Now, Kenan, was there ever a point, was there a kill scene that you had in your mind? You were like, I'm going to do this. This is a good kill scene. And you were like, wait a minute. That's too damn far.
No, not yet. Not yet. And you know what really helps about that? A very supportive cast and crew. You know, when I present the script, you know, the last one or this one, when I presented it to the people that, you know, worked higher up with me, it was just supportive. Like, everybody loved how raw it was, how violent it was, how mean it was. I think people just really couldn't wait to get their hands dirty and
yeah, and for what I've seen so far, it has that gritty look to it. It has that gritty 80s B movie grit to it, which
I'm so glad.
I mean, listen, it's an honor because I mean that alone is kind of unnerving. That
Mhm.
gritty look. Now, that was a look that you were going for?
Absolutely, but I believe that's just something that comes with low budget filmmaking. You know, I mean, if you spend your time, I feel like as a low budget filmmaker just starting out, if you spend your time just like forcing something that's not really there, like trying to make something look perfect, it's never going to be. Um, but if you just kind of embrace all that low budget, just nastiness, that guerrilla style filmmaking,
Mhm.
I think that's when the magic happens. That John Waters esque, magic that just like nobody's really doing. You know what I mean? I mean, people are doing it, but like it's. I always like to say it's always the little guys that keep the big guys on their toes. You know what I mean?
I agree. But so I interview a lot of indie filmmakers and I watch a lot of indie horror films. But there are some indie filmmakers who have no budget, but they're trying to go for that high budget look, and
Mhm.
it just never goes right.
Right.
I think that you have to realize what your limitations are
Hmm.
and work with what you have and know what you're doing is not going to look 100%. But if the audience can suspend their disbelief enough for it, if you, I mean, because we had for this one particularly, we had a higher budget. We had a little over 1,500 to work with, and we did, higher caliber special effects for this one. But even with the first one, we worked with what we had, and I think we made stuff look really good with what we had because we didn't try to push our limitations. We knew that we're not going to have top of the line stuff on what we have, so we can Kanan did a lot of research about how special effects were done before we had all the high budget stuff that people use today and how they achieved what they did, and we implemented that. And it's a learning process, and you have to figure out what works and what doesn't, and you have to test stuff out, and sometimes it doesn't look how you think it's going to, and you got to regroup and rethink and try to figure it out. We ran into that with live casting this time. We tried one method and that did not work out the way we needed it to, so we had to research a little bit more and figure out a different method, but we got it figured out.
I feel like we're truly not doing, anything different from how, like, what Toby Hooper and his friends were doing when they made the original Chainsaw. It's just working with what you got. It's scrounging, and it's all just a, unspoken, maybe spoken, understanding of making something work together. Yeah.
And it's great to have an excellent support team and cast to work with. That's always something that I've seen that's been important when it comes to making, especially a film with such a low budget.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Now, was there something? This is for the both of you. Was there something that? Okay, two-part question. Was there something from part one to part two? Was there something that you learned after finishing part one that you were like, that worked great, I want to carry that over to part two? And was there something that you were like, fuck, that was horrible, I didn't like that, how that went, I'm not taking that over to part two?
Well, going into writing, I wanted to almost challenge myself, and I wanted to not write with limitations in my head and just kind of like face them when we got there. You know what I mean? Because I mean, a lot of the older horror films did that. You know what I mean? Scripts they kind of, when you get down to it, they kind of change. Well, that's not going to work, but how about maybe this works? You know what I mean? And I think that's when the film itself, takes on its own life. And it's one of my favorite things about filmmaking so far. But as far as the first one, specific things, I really, really, really liked layering my voice as the killer. I really thought it was cool, even though we had many audio issues. I really loved that character trait, so that's definitely something I wanted to bring back to Viv. So anytime you'll hear me speak, it's like several voices layered onto one. Super, super excited about that. Really, we've taken a different direction with music. We've taken a different direction with suspense. You know, it's really just cherry picking. There's definitely some cherry picking going on with things that we've continued over. I mean, there's definitely some story things that we wanted to continue, like certain abilities that the killer has that we wanted to, like, you know, work into the story, of course. And like Tian mentioned earlier, the first film ended with kind of a cliffhanger, so we definitely had to continue that because we left the audience kind of hungry and wondering what happened. Tian, did you have anything?
For me, I've been helping a lot with a lot of the behind the scenes work, and so working on the first one, I kind of stepped up into that role, and this time it was specifically assigned to me. So I learned a lot with the first one in terms of you know, keeping track of people that are involved for credits and getting paperwork for people, and reaching out and scouting locations and figuring out schedules and all of this like technical stuff that is behind the scenes that I learned a lot with the first one because I've never done anything like that before. So it's a lot of just figuring it out as I go. And I learned a lot with that in the first one. In this one, I feel like we also, another thing actually is the first one had a lot of very interesting camera angles. And there's one specific movement of doing this while filming that we did in the first one that we brought back in a scene in the second one that I actually really enjoy. I think it looks really cool and adds a lot to that scene.
Yeah, I'm always open to like special creative suggestions while filming, you know, scenes. Even after I storyboard some scenes, like I still like to leave a little bit of leeway. So anytime Tian suggests anything fun, I try to always take that because it's always so fucking cool. There's so much stuff I want to give away right now about the sequel, but I can't.
Yeah,
It's hard.
It's so hard.
It's hard.
now you guys are having a premiere December 14th. I'm right around the corner.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Super fucking excited. We're gonna have a merch table. We have glow in the dark VivDarko t-shirts that have real metallic blades like on the t-shirts. The design is fucking sick. They look like band tees. Like they made the words look like band merch.
Like metal, like how metal bands have that font that branches out. That's what it looks like.
Fucking cool. We have stickers, buttons, candles, fucking masks. So we're gonna have so much shit, dude. Like, and it's so cool. It is a red carpet event, so it's not a strict, you know, formal attire kind of dress code, but I always say wear something fun, creative, and cool.
Yeah.
Dress up however you want.
Make it fun.
It's going to be fun. Last year we did a red carpet event, and it was a much smaller venue, and we filled up the venue. I think the limit was like, I don't know, it was like 90 something. So we did really good with that. But
this is a much bigger
venue, and we are very excited. We're going to have, you know, plenty of space for after party, hanging out, dancing, drinking.
Yeah, there will be alcohol, there will be food, there will be all kinds of shit. I'm working on a blooper reel right now. It's fucking hilarious.
We love bloopers.
Love bloopers
too.
I think it really breaks up the tension afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Now, where would be held at?
The Evansville Memorial Veterans Coliseum, and it's downtown Evansville.
It's on Court Street.
On Court Street. The doors open at 7:30, and then the film will roughly start at 10. Just to give people time to get a drink, you know, talk to each other. There's going to be tables set around the chairs, so you'll be able to, like, you know, talk, meet up with people, all that shit. Go to the merch table.
We're going to do interviews with the cast on the red carpet. You know, it'll be a lot of fun.
A whole shindig.
Yes. Now, Evansville, that's in Pennsylvania?
It's in Indiana. Evansville, Indiana.
Okay, Indiana. Okay. Awesome. I live in the East Coast because I would definitely be there. That sounds amazing. So,
where are you based at?
In Baltimore, Maryland.
Oh, okay, nice.
Oh, that's awesome! Really? One of my bucket list things is to go to Divine's grave there and smoke a blunt with her.
Well, listen, check in next month. I will have a video of me at Divine's grave. So that's going to be in Edgar Allan Poe, too. So if you like Edgar Allan Poe, I'll be at both of the grave.
That's so awesome.
I love
Oh,
that.
that's so cool. I'm so jealous. I'm so jelly.
Yes, I loved Divine. I love the John Waters stuff. So
Absolutely.
We do too.
yeah, so once I
So
found out where a grave
inspiration.
was, I was like, I'm going there. Yep.
Yes.
That's so cool. You got to go to the spot where she ate the dog shit.
Yes. By the way, check out one of my videos. There's an awesome place in Baltimore. It's called the Bazaar, Bazaar, and they have they have like a lot of taxidermy stuff. And I forgot what animal it was, but they taxidermy an animal and to look like Divine.
Oh, I love that.
That's so cute.
Yes, it was amazing. It was amazing.
That sounds amazing.
Awesome. All right. So where can we find you on social media?
On social media, on my Instagram, it's VivDarko official, and then on Facebook, it's VivDarko. But we also have our Facebook page. You want to tell them what it is now?
Our Facebook page is VivPro, VivPro. Is it 2 words?
What? Oh, it's 2 words.
Two
yes.
words. It originally was our Please Don't Make Me page, but we've changed it to VivPro just so we can do other projects on that same page and not have to make multiple Facebook pages. Viv also has a YouTube channel.
I do. It's called VivDarko. That's where the first film is posted. Definitely watch it. It's only an hour long, so you don't have to invest too much.
But it's going to be in my description, so click on
awesome.
their YouTube channel.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that.
No problem. No problem.
The sequel will most likely not be going on YouTube, but that's only because we're working on getting it picked up by a streaming service.
Okay. So you guys are looking at like Tubi, Amazon, or?
So,
We're looking
whatever the
around.
best deal is.
Yeah. Keeping our options open.
Well, listen, I'm trying to think. Indiana does have a horror convention. It is Horror Hound, right? Horror Hound convention?
Yeah, that's happening, I think, this weekend.
In Indianapolis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Horror Hound is really cool. Evansville just did their first HorrorCon last year,
Really?
and it was pretty cool. You know, it's still a small growing thing, but we'll be entering in the film festival for that too. So
Okay, well, I'll be out there for Horror Hound next year, so I'll hit you guys up.
Awesome.
Yeah. All right, guys. Everyone, please check them out. Go down the description, hit the YouTube. And if you're out in Evansville, Indiana, please go out to the screening December 14th in Evansville, Indiana of Please Don't Make Me Too. Listen, Kanan, Tiana, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on. I would love to have you guys back on. Actually, I'd love to have you guys back on when it comes out on streaming and I get to see it and we can talk about it.
Absolutely.
It'd be so much fun.
Thank you so much for having us.
Yes.
This was so fun.
You're more than welcome. More than welcome. All right, everyone. Well, thank you for coming to the Horror Room. I'm Travis Spruce. I'll see you guys next time. Take care.